Buyurun, buyurun. Aziz milletim, değerli basın mensupları, sizleri en kalbi duygularımla, muhabbetle selamlıyorum. Son kabine toplantımızdan bu yana geçen 3 haftalık sürede ülkemiz ve milletimiz için eser ve hizmet üretmeye kesintisiz devam ettik. Yeni eğitim öğretim yılının açılışını İstanbul Sancaktepe'de öğretmenlerimiz, öğrencilerimiz ve velilerimizle birlikte gerçekleştirdik. Bu vesileyle eğitimde 20 yılda ülkemize kazandırdığımız hizmetleri tekrar hatırlama imkanı bulduk. Gençlerimizle bugünün ve geleceğin dünyasına dair kısa bir ufuk turu yaparak kendileriyle oku, düşün, uygula, neticelendir prensibimizi bir kez daha paylaştık. Öğretmen atamalarından derslik sayısına, altyapıdan teknolojiye kadar eğitime verdiğimiz önceliğin neticelerini görmekten büyük bir memnuniyet duyuyorum. Ülkemizin 81 vilayetinde ve ilçelerinde insanlarımızı ev sahibi yapmak için yürüttüğümüz konut projelerini yeni bir kampanyayla taşlandırma müjdesinin ayrıntılarını 13 Eylül'de kamuoyuna açıkladık. Adını "İlk Evim, İlk İş Yerim" olarak koyduğumuz bu kampanya toplamda 500 bin sosyal konutu, 250 bin konut arsasını ve 50 bin iş yerini kapsıyor. Kampanyanın ilk etabında 250 bin konutu, 100 bin konut arsasını ve 10 bin iş yerini 2 yıl içinde bitirerek hak sahiplerine teslim etmeyi planlıyoruz. Talep toplama süreci önümüzdeki ay sonuna kadar devam edecek. Projenin 5.000 konutluk ilk diliminin temelini 25 Ekim'de atıyoruz. Başvuru sayısı şimdiden 5 milyona dayanan bu kampanya, Türkiye'nin bugüne kadar yapılmış en büyük sosyal konut atılımı olacaktır. Geçtiğimiz 20 yılda 1.170.000 konutu inşa etmiş bir hükümet olarak 2 yıl içinde 250 bin sosyal konutu tamamlayacak, ardından da süratle bunu 500 bine çıkartacak bu projeyi söz verdiğimiz şekilde hayata geçirmekte kararlıyız. Milletimiz sosyal konut kampanyamıza çok büyük bir teveccüh göstermiştir. Gençlerimize, emeklilerimize, engellilerimize, şehit yakını ve gazilerimize özel kontenjanlar ayırdığımız "İlk Evim, İlk İş Yerim" kampanyasının bir kez daha ülkemize ve milletimize hayırlı olmasını diliyorum. Hükümetimizle eser ve hizmette yarışamayanların yalan, yanlış ve iftira üzerine kurdukları hezeyanlarıyla ilk günden itibaren kampanyamızı karalamaya çalışmalarını ise üzüntüyle takip ediyoruz. Hep söylediğimiz gibi biz 20 yıldır eser ve hizmette yarışacağımız bir muhalefetin özlemini çektik. Görünüşe göre uzunca bir süre daha aynı arayışı sürdüreceğiz. Üniversitelerimizin
It seems like we will be going after the same thing for a long while.
Yeni adımları da devreye alıyoruz. Yurt kapasitemizi 182 bin yataktan
We're starting new actions
850
to
bin
increase the
yatağa
bed capacity
çıkartarak
of our dorms,
hiçbir gencimizin
increasing the capacity
barınma sorunu yüzünden
up to
eğitiminden mahrum
800,000
kalmamasını sağlamanın gayreti içindeyiz. Geçmişte başvuran öğrencilerimizin çok cüzi bir
We're
kısmını
exerting efforts
yurda
so that everyone
yerleştirebilirken biz
has
bunu
the opportunity
%90'lar
for
seviyesine
accommodation.
çıkardık. Bu
We brought this
anlayışa
ratio to
14
90%
Eylül'de 105 yeni
on
yurt
September
binamızın
14.
daha açılışını yaptık.
We opened
Altyapı kapasite
105
sayesinde ilk
new dorm
yerleştirmede
buildings.
dahi %80'lik bir
Thanks
talep
to the increasing
karşılama oranını
capacity,
yakaladık.
we
İnşallah bu oran
achieved an 80% off
zamanla daha da artacaktır.
accommodation
Bugün
rate.
Türkiye'nin yüksek öğrenim yurdu kapasitesi Avrupa ülkelerinin çoğunun toplamından daha fazla.
This will further increase.
Dolayısıyla
The capacity
öğrencilerimizin
of
barınma
Turkey
sorunlarını siyasi
is
istismar
more
aracı haline getirmek isteyenlerin
than many other
dünyadan
European
da
countries in terms of
Türkiye'den de haberleri olmadığı açık.
accommodation rates for
Aynı şekilde
students at dorms.
kredi ve burs konusunda da Türkiye
Likewise, for
dünyanın en ileri
scholarships
sosyal devlet uygulamasına sahip
and student
ülkesi.
loans, Turkey
Başvuran her öğrencimiz
is the most
kredi,
successful.
şartları tutan her öğrencimiz
Every
burs alabilmektedir.
applying student
Müjdesini daha önce paylaştığımız
is able
kredi
to receive
ödemelerinin sadece ana para
a student
üzerinden
loan.
yapılabilmesine ve geçmişteki ilave borçların silinmesine ilişkin düzenleme
The regulation
Ekim ayında
to
meclis gündemine de gelecektir. Geçmişte her
erase the
öğretim yılı
outstanding
açılışında gerginlik sebebi olan
debt
üniversite harçlarını
interests
da bildiğiniz gibi
will be brought
biz
to the
kaldırdık.
Assembly,
Vesileyle
and the
üniversite öğrencilerimize
university
bir de
fees, which was
bütçe vermek
controversial in the past,
ek yerleştirmelerin
has been
devam
abolished.
ettiği ve fiyatlarını değiştirmediğimiz
Additional
yüksek öğrenim
listings
yurtlarımızda kalan öğrencilerimize
continue, and for our students who are
vermiş
staying at
olduğumuz beslenme yardımını
higher education
günlük
dorms,
25 liradan
the food
60 liraya çıkartıyoruz.
financial assistance
Böylece
will be brought to 60 liras from 25.
Böylece beslenme yardımını 2,5 katlık bir artışla aylık 1800 liraya
This way,
yükseltiyoruz.
monthly it will be 1800 liras
Üniversite
for our
öğrencilerimize
students
yurtlarımızda kaliteli
for
ve
food
doyurucu yemek sunmaya
tickets per day.
devam etmek.
And our aim is
Yeni
to
beslenme yardımı
offer high
rakamının
quality
gençlerimize
food
hayırlı
to our
olmasını
students. And I hope that
Geçtiğimiz
this
hafta sonu da
food
Sakarya'da
assistance will be,
önce
this
toplu
meal
açılış
assistance
töreni vesilesiyle
will be auspicious for our
vatandaşlarımıza,
students.
ardından da seçimlerde
Last week in
ilk defa
Sakarya,
oy kullanacak
on the occasion of mass
gençlerimizle
opening
bir
ceremony,
araya geldik.
we
Her iki buluşmamızda da oldukça
gathered with our people, and following that,
özellikle
we met our
gençlerimizle
youth.
gerçekleştirdiğimiz buluşmada
there was great joy
onların haklarına, özgürlüklerine,
in both
geleceklerine
gatherings,
sahip çıkma iradelerini
especially
2023'te sandıkta gösterme konusundaki kararlılıklarını görmekten
I was
memnuniyet duydum.
very happy to see the determination that our young people has
Evlatlarımıza
have
sadece
to
umutsuzluk
show their
aşılarken
will
biz
at the ballot
istikbalimizin
boxes,
teminatı olarak gördüğümüz
while do
gençlerimize
some
güvenmeye,
day and night
onları her alanda desteklemeye devam ediyoruz.
impose our youth with
Pazar
pessimism.
günü
We
ise
continue supporting
İstanbul
them
Ticaret Odası'nın
in every field.
140.
And on
kuruluş
Sunday,
yıl dönümü ödül törenlerinde
at the
iş dünyamızla bir araya geldik.
140
Bu toplantıda hem İstanbul Ticaret Odamızın ve
Foundation
Oda Başkanımız Sayın Şekip Avdag için
anniversary
çalışmalarını
of
değerlendirme hem de ekonomi
Istanbul
programımızı
Chamber of
tekrar
Commerce,
hülasa etme fırsatı
we were together and we had the chance to address our economy program one more time and also exchange opinions with the chairperson. While international institutions revised the growth rate downwards for many countries, they all follow an upgoing trend, ever-increasing trend for Turkey. This alone is strong to show the power of Turkey. From economic crises to wars and to political turmoils, the world is struggling with a lot. And as Turkey, we both within the country and outside show a strong stance. Foreseeing the global crises, taking measures in advance, and also reassuring our resilience is what everyone recognizes, and we have the know-how and also the resilience for that. The uninterrupted attacks we endured for the past 8-9 years and all the traps laid in front of us made us create such an effective system and work for it. Started with the pandemic and continued with the Ukraine-Russia war. In the face of crises, even the developed countries were much distracted while we continued walking towards our goals. In fight against the pandemic of the century, we created our own unique policy and applied it. For the Russia-Ukraine war, we continued with our dialogue, maintained our dialogue with both parties, and from grain transportation to exchange of prisoners, we have achieved a lot of historic success. Now, more than 5 million tons of grains have been transported. Despite those who tried insistingly to exclude our country from global and regional decision-making processes, we have been the flagship actor for solving many problems and maintaining healthy processes. Those who consider themselves as the gate watchers are maybe disturbed, but we are very confidently running this process. Turkey does not recognize impositions in internal politics as well as external foreign politics. In line with the strategic location we have, which connects 3 continents, we are improving our relations with various partners. We neither turn our backs to the west or east, nor do we neglect the Middle East or Africa, while we are strengthening our relations with the North and the South. While we have one foot standing sound in its ground in our region, we do cover the whole world like a pair of compasses. For the security and prosperity of the Balkans, for example, is no different than our own security. In a critical period, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Serbia, and Croatia visit we had helped further improve our relations with those countries and also for the preservation of the climate of stability. In the previous days, with the talks and contact we had in Uzbekistan and in the USA, we presented the ever-expanding foreign politics vision of Turkey. My dear brother Shavkat Mirziyoyev, the president of Uzbekistan's kind invitation, came and opened the invitation at the Uzbekistan Summit of Shanghai Cooperation Conference. We had fruitful talks, creating $20 billion worth of national income. Shanghai Cooperation Organization is with what we aim to further deepen our relations. And we expressed our intention very clearly to our interlocutors during the talks on the occasion of the summit. The host of the summit, the president of Uzbekistan, and along with him, the president of Azerbaijan, Mr. Aliyev, the prime minister of Pakistan, Mr. Sharif, Xi Jinping, the president of China, Mongolia, President Mr. Horasu, and Modi, Prime Minister of India, and President of the Russian Federation, Mr. Putin, and with the President of Iran, Mr. Raisi, were the leaders we met. With those leaders, we, in all dimensions, addressed our bilateral relations. As well, we exchanged opinions for regional matters. Following the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's summit, to participate to the 77th session of the United Nations General Assembly, we flew to New York. After a 13-hour flight, we arrived in New York. because of the COVID pandemic, for the first time after 2 years, the General Assembly meetings took place face-to-face, and the Assembly meetings were very fruitful, constructive for us, from our citizens to the representatives of Turkish NGOs and think tanks. We met many people from different walks of life and done away with our longing. The representatives of think tanks, American think tanks, entrepreneurs, and many leading figures of the country, with whom we had very comprehensive talks. Transforming education was one of the summits held within the scope of the General Assembly session, and we shared with our leaders the vision we have for transforming education. I also addressed the General Assembly on the first day of the session, starting with the Russia-Ukraine war. I addressed many subjects that are related with international and regional peace, and we expressed our opinions one more time, from the migration crisis to grain transportation. Using many examples, we drew attention to the mediation role that Turkey has been playing, from counterterrorism to developments in the Eastern Mediterranean and the Aegean Sea, from economic instabilities to the structure of the UN on a very large scale. We very frankly, sincerely voiced the expectations of our country in our talks, especially in bilateral talks. Our efforts were appreciated, we observed, especially as regards the Russia-Ukraine war. Along with the Secretary General of the UN, with some heads of state and government, we had certain bilateral talks on the sidelines of the General Assembly. Libya, Guatemala, Jordan, Kyrgyzstan, Austria, TRNC, and Poland were the countries with the leaders of which we met. Georgia, Spain, Japan, Lebanon, and the UK Prime Ministers were received. Following our address to the General Assembly at the same building with the Emir of Qatar, and also the presidents of Kazakhstan, South Korea, and Bangladesh presidents were with whom I had talks. With Guatemala, Israel leaders, I had a chance for the first time to speak face-to-face. And 3 members of the U.S. Congress, the chairperson of FIFA, and also the World Jewish Congress president were received. Right across the UN premises, the Turkish House building, which we opened last year, was the venue where we hosted all guests, and Turkevi, the Turkish House, became one of the centers where the heart of the UN meetings also started beating. Starting with energy, we also saw that many leaders are ready to further improve relations with us in defense industry. The diplomatic success we had in the Ukrainian conflict with the grain transportation, and which continued with the exchange of prisoners, has become a source of pride for us. The responsibilities that Turkey has assumed are at a level which is truly appreciated by all those who recognize how hard it is. And I would like to thank the President of Mr. Putin and the President of Ukraine, Mr. Zelensky, for their support. I would like to express my gratitude from here one more time. Our goal is to bring both leaders together in the shortest time possible and without further loss and damage and casualties, to end this war, to end wars, atrocities, conflicts, and tensions in the world. Our neighbor, Greece, is adopting policies that smell of manipulation and escalation. As I always say, Greece is not our interlocutor in terms of politics or military, and it is not our equal, and it cannot be provocating certain Greek politicians and who make them attack us, have the aim to distract our country and prevent our program of constructing a great and strong Turkey. This is what we know very well. But the Greek politicians, the Greek government, and the Greek people, and those who use them as puppets, this is a perilous game. In this August, we celebrated the centenary of our victories, and I would like to state that it is to the benefit to remind the prices they had to pay. Just for the sake of vicious politics, having their countries being occupied politically, socially, and military-wise, are what the Greek politicians, doing, and sooner or later they will be held to the account by their people, trying to make all forget how they fled from the charging of the Turkish forces, and Tripolice-like massacres where they killed children and women mercilessly, and who celebrated as a victory, still have not been held to account before history. And the same mindset is visible in the Aegean and the Mediterranean seas, where the boats of refugees are capsized and drowned, and they all will be held to account for the loss of lives of innocent children. Neither development nor a dignified stance can be presented with this. The occupation seeming piles of armor or ammunition should not threaten us, but the whole humanity indeed. Having the next generation under captivity, the political engagements and economic ones, likewise, do not threaten us, but the Greek people indeed. We watched this scenario in the past, and we solved it, and we turned a new page and drew a new path for ourselves. But now, as a neighbor, we sincerely are upset to see that Greece is following a similar trajectory. Neither the military piles or any other action will suffice to bring Greece to our level, but such wrong steps will be sufficient to drag Greece into a swamp. Towards Greece, which we are following from all aspects, we will not refrain from defending all our rights, using all the means at hand. But while doing that, we will never be digressed and compromising on our own policies of development and our rights. My dear friends, to achieve the 2023 goals and to create the 2053 vision, our transportation infrastructure has a great share. The investment, employment, production, export, and current account a surplus-oriented economic growth program is on which we are making our economy rise. And one element of that is transportation. In airways, railways, and motorways, the investments we make do not only facilitate the lives of our own people, but with these projects we do address the needs of all in our region, and make sure that everyone can have fast, effective access from London to China. If one can travel over the railways uninterruptedly, then it is thanks to the tunnels, railways, underpasses, overpasses, and bridges we built. From this line to the depth of Africa, thanks to the logistics lines we constructed, starting with the grain crisis, the world is now able to overcome many problems. From the Istanbul airport, almost every minute a plane takes off, and with a 3 or 4 hour flight, it is possible to access to almost the half of the world population. Of course, it was not easy to come to this level, from projecting to finance, while trying to solve many problems. We at the same time had to deal with the politics of the opposition. In that, they came up with obstacles or wedges, if you will, every time we came up with a project. The slander or the lies or the smearing projects or manipulations they were engaged in have never been forgotten, but thanks to be God, we have materialized all the projects, and we opened them and put them to public use, and many of them are underway. One of those projects is Istanbul-Izmir Highway. Through ferries, it will be taking 1 hour to travel, and Izmit Gulf Pass, which used to take 1.5 hours, now is possible to cross in 5 minutes with Osman Gazi Bridge. And from Istanbul to Izmir, the driving hour used to be 7 or 8 hours, and now it is possible to drive from Istanbul to Izmir or the other way around in only 3.5 hours. Only in the first 22 days of this month, on a daily basis, 51,000 vehicles crossed Osman Gazi Bridge. The vehicle guarantee rate of the bridge increased to 116%, much higher than the figure guaranteed. With the Çanakkale Bridge, the passing in between the two continents became easier, and the trouble of taking the ferries now ended, and it takes only 6 minutes to go across the continents. This is what civilization and being advanced is, Mr. Kemal. You cannot go anywhere just by saying that you are the main opposition. In the first 22 days of this month, more than 8,000 vehicles crossed the Çanakkale Bridge. And the experience that we had in the past show that the more our people get accustomed to this comfort, the higher the number of the vehicles crossing the bridges will be. In the past, we used to go and wait for 24 hours for the ferries to arrive and for us to load with our vehicles, and then on the way back wait another 24 hours, and so on. These were the days. Yavuz Sultan Selim Bridge helped the traffic, and the North Marmara Road as well. And what was the average number of the vehicles on this bridge? It has come to exceed the figure of 113,000. What were they saying? What were they used to saying? That it would do no good. And they used to say the same thing, the CHP, when the late Menderes, Prime Minister Menderes, did such projects. The airport, will you have some birds land there? They used to say. And then they say it to me now the same. Why did you call the bridge after Yavuz Sultan Selim? Why did you call it Yavuz Sultan Selim? And I said, to what else? What else I should? Because we are proud of our history. We take pride in our history because they made history, our ancestors. and all the great people, Kanuni, Fatih Sultan Mehmet, they all made history. Sultan Abdul Hamid, 33 years without losing an inch of soil, he administrated, he governed the Ottoman state. But now, these other people have no shame. Those so-called historians say the otherwise of the truth, as they claim the otherwise. And the same picture is the case for our airports. Now, one of the most prestigious brands of our country, Istanbul Airport, in the first 22 days of this month, hosted more than 5 million passengers with more than 30,000 flights. This is all matters. This is what matters. One can only be remembered with the projects or the great work he built. And with what will you be proud? Of what will you be proud? It is not an opening if you just go and turn on a fountain. You now have claimed the seats of certain greater municipalities, but what have your greater municipalities done so far? You're even too weak to construct a road. You can't, because being civilized is something and being non-civilized is something else. We say road is civilization, water is civilization, but you said that you would reduce the water prices when you took office, but now you are increasing the water supply products over and over again. Why? Because this is what I'm trying to explain to my citizens. When I came to serve as the mayor of Istanbul municipality, you knew what water meant. Was the water running? No. But did we deal with all? Yes, we did. We supplied water to the people of Istanbul with very low prices. When? In 1994. But before us, again CHP was there. But with them, it was not possible to find water. We did not. And this goes the same for Antalya Airport. More than 20,000 flights served to more than 3.6 million passengers. And thanks be to God, Turkey is competing. The whole world. For the whole world. Sabiha Gökçen, Mr. Kemal was going from one TV show to the other and saying why there is a need for Sabiha Gökçen, for the Sabiha Gökçen Airport. This was what he was saying. But now from Sabiha Gökçen Airport, in the same period, more than 2.2 million passengers were served with more than 13,000 flights. But these people will fall short to understand. Now I do make a call on my people. We are now constructing the second runway, and in May the second runway construction will be complete, and we will be constructing a new terminal building for Sabiha Gökçen Airport. And now the Malaysians ask to construct it. Before they had to leave and exit, but now they saw that this place is very resourceful. And in May, hopefully, the construction will be complete, and it's shining, and we will also make a decision for the construction of the terminal. Will we have a co-construction with the Malaysians, or will we leave it to the Malaysians alone? This is all about accounting. But Mr. Kemal, you know nothing of that. We will do whatever is for the benefit of our people. Starting with those in Europe, the world aviation is now struggling with many problems, but thanks be to God, our airports are breaking records every day. we have comfort. God willingly, we have all the food service. And no airlines or at no airport you can find such good service. The other day, one of the services we opened in Sakarya mass opening ceremony was the 49-kilometer phase of Sakarya-Kaynarca road, and it will be easing the traffic in the region to a great extent. Such live connections are very important. Maybe Mr. Altun, you could have brought certain footage. At least we should keep them in our archives, because one's memory is always tested. And we have our transportation projects, which will continue uninterruptedly in Kaz Mountains region with a worth of investment of 4.6 billion. We have a 5.7 kilometer long Assos and Troya tunnels included. Ayvacık Küçükkoyu, a road of 9.7 kilometers, has now been fully prepared for opening. And the Kaz Mountains will not be remembered with wildfires or whatsoever, but vehicles will be able to transit through these tunnels easily. In Diyarbakır, the southwest crossroads, bridge crossroads, connection roads also had a worth of investment of 1 billion, and we completed that. In Malatya-Hekiman Road with an investment of 2.6 billion, 8 bridges, 8 tunnels and 16 bridges will be put into public use. We're preparing for that. And now, Mr. Kemal, go ahead and say that we have built such roads or tunnels or whatsoever. He would know nothing of that. He would only lie and lie. He has no integrity or decency, honesty. In Gaziantep, 16 station Gazi Rai, which will be serving thousands of people, has been completed as a railway project. A 7.6 kilometer long Pendik-Sabiha Gökçen metro line also has been complete. All these projects in October, inshallah, will be opened. This fest of great projects and investments will take place with Pendik-Sabiha Gökçen metro line this Sunday. $183 billion worth of transportation and communication infrastructure is what we adorned our country with so far, and $198 billion additional communication and transportation infrastructure will be built. And we will we're continuing to present many other services in all other areas. On Wednesday, media, members of media, you're also invited. Etlik City Hospital, one of the biggest health investments of our country, will be opened. It will be the second giant state hospital of Ankara. And right now the treatments have already started taking place. Yesterday, on Wednesday at 2 p.m., hopefully we will be officially opening it. You will see how modern and magnificent this city hospital is in our capital. And the next weekend, we will be participating, we will be organizing the Cemevi groundbreaking ceremony and mass opening ceremonies from the World Nomad Games. to the new legislative year opening of the Grand Assembly, to the co-academic year of all our universities. With many programs, we will be continuing on our path by serving our people. My great nation, before I conclude my words, I would like to say that our presidential cabinet meeting was really fun and very active. And my minister friends prepared, mashallah, very well so that we can share some good news with our people. Some issues we made evaluations about. I would like to share some of them with you.
Bu küresel gelişmelerin önemini giderek arttığı, tarım sektörüne verdiğimiz destekleri genişlettiğimiz böyle bir dönemde
In such an era, when we expand the scope of the agricultural assistance to our farmers, especially in such a period,
faturalarındaki KDV oranını
the VAT ratio in electricity bills in last March was brought from 18% to 8%, and annually 3 billion lira of financial assistance was offered for the solar energy plant and for the foundation of them to encourage more and to ensure that the need is met and the surplus energy is sold to international systems. We paved the way. And for electricity bills, we will be sharing some good news with our farmers for regulations. Instead of monthly payments, electricity bills will be paid at the end of the harvesting period when the products are sold and when the income, the revenue is generated. Ziraat Bank will be receiving applications for all those farmers for the collection of the loans and will be collecting the loans at the end of the harvesting season and also take the cost from the finance department. For the outstanding electricity debts, through Ziraat Bank, we will be offering another facilitation program with up to 5-year due term dates and without any interest applied, farmers will be able to make their payments by sacrificing a bit on the active amount and the interests applied over the years. Our aim is to encourage our farmers more and prevent unbalanced price increases on food prices. And I hope that these acts of facilitation will be auspicious for our farmers. As known in Istanbul Chamber of Commerce, we shared the good news about 3 regulations that concern both the employees and employers. The food ticket amounts paid to employees has been brought to 51, and the cash payment also will be possible. As well, the electricity and natural gas assistance up to 1,000 liras all will be exempted from taxes. And for the employer is working abroad, the payments made will also be exempted from income tax, we said. And I hope all these 3 regulations will be auspicious. We also have good news for our citizens who are receiving social assistance, financial assistance. The budget we allocated in 2022 was brought to 11.5 billion from 6 billion, if you do remember, and prefabricated house construction from 40,000 to 150, for concrete buildings from 70,000 to 200,000, for house repairing assistance from 25 to 75,000, for orphans the financial assistance from 300 per month to 600, and for all women whose husbands died from 500 to 1,000, and for many families from 215 to 400, probation assistance from 55 to 100. The social assistance programs are not offered only to the poor, but also all those in need. And with this understanding, we are continuously further improving the system. For example, one of the novelties we have brought about in this framework is the consumption support for natural gas. As of February, the applications have started coming in, and to 315,000 households we offer this assistance. In the new application period, along with house owners, tenants also will be included into the natural gas assistance programs, and the figure will be in between 900 to 2,500. Those who are eligible to receive natural gas assistance and who have chronic diseases will also receive an additional 5% of financial assistance for natural gas. And in this period, we will be offering 3 billion lira worth of natural gas financial assistance, and we're determined to offer the warmth to our people at home. And this part is very important. I would like to make a call on my nation and remind this to my nation one more time. Family support program. Family assistance program will be expanded in its scope and the budget with an additional 25 billion lira will come to stand at 40 billion liras. Hence, this program will have an effectiveness for 1/10 of all households in Turkey. For all children registered in the social programs, we will have additional proposals. Those who are registered in the Turkey Family Program will be able to benefit for that. For their individual needs, all the assistance will not be included or calculated over the household income amounts. And I hope that this new practice also will be auspicious for our citizens. My brothers and sisters, the more Turkey wins, do not forget our nation. The more our nation will win. The more our nation wins, the stronger our state will be. With the social state principle, the welfare will be shared with all sections of the society through programs which will be more effectively practiced. May God keep our path clear. With these thoughts in mind, I once again would like to greet each and every one of you with love and respect. Stay in health.